Hello and welcome to Squares TV Application Lab number 38. I think that's the first time I've ever managed to pull off that little transition there. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. Today we're going to talk about some website progress, some stuff about macOS Sonoma, iPadOS 17. This is the 38th App Lab where I'll talk about Shoot Video, Pencil, Beat Sheet, CueCam. We've got a private Zoom, but I think everyone's just taking a tour of Zoomtopia, so I don't know if people will join in a bit, but for now it's probably pretty quiet. And then we're out live, my camera's out live on YouTube. If you do ask a question on Zoom, I will just patch your audio in so that I don't have to repeat the question. So that's today. It's going to be a relatively quick one because I had a little bit of a break last week. I'm back from Milan. I'm back in London, as you can see from my grey background. Here's a little quick video. Just when we took a little video by the I forget what's it called. I meant to write the name of the neighbourhood. I forgot what that was. Navili. Yeah, there's a little bridge. Anyway, announcements today, and of course my LUT has vanished. I'm just going to have to be de-lutified, aren't I? I am slowly getting through some progress on the website. So here is, of course, I rebooted and the website is not currently running. So I'm just, if you'll just bear with me for one moment while I fire that up. IEX Phoenix server. Right here. While I do that, I will see what's happening over on chat. My audio is coming in choppy. Okay, well, in that case, we go over to direct connection, and hopefully this sounds better. How's this? This should be better. So here is, let me know if it's not. Here is, I've got to put some love into, oh, that's going to be loud. I've got to put a bit of love into all of this CueCam stuff before it's totally ready. But we always have the sort of direct from the microphone fallback. So here's where I'm up to with the website. It's been a real slog. I have to say it's like one of my least favourite things to do. Let's just make this as big as we can. Let's make this like full screen. So you can sort of have a look at where the website's up to. So I'm sort of like doing a lot of, so I haven't quite finalised this copy, but I think it's okay. Maybe I don't really like this background colour. I'm thinking something like this for the first picture that kind of gives you the camera, the side things, the overview. This sort of top level thing that I saw on the Final Cut Pro website. And then I'm basically building out these sections. So the prepare section, I've been just sort of building these up, trying to figure out what I'm actually going to put in the content, organize your thoughts, like sort of show the slides. Okay, we hover over the stuff and it like highlights where that is on the card. I'm fiddling about with that kind of stuff. But this is kind of procrastination when I really should just be writing the content. Images and videos. I've sort of got some little asides that like call out boxes. So we can add responses to questions. But really like the main... A lot of the work has been in just like assembling screenshots, you know, which is not the easiest thing. It's not always the easiest thing to do. So, I'm sort of like fiddling around with, like I hate this. I found this and like the more I see it, the more I hate it. But like, I wanted to show that the audio metering sort of like warns you if you're too loud. I've got to sort of like show, I've got like, I'm sort of trying different like stock footage and then I have to buy the stock photography just to sort of like layer up like what that's going to look like. We have like a selfie stick, we have like a cookery mock-up. Do I show the phone screen? Do I show the desktop? So this is like composed of various elements. So just like, it's pretty slow going, getting through all this. And it was what I wanted to focus on while I was in Milan. And I did sort of manage to build up a little bit of steam, but it's it's like consuming a lot of my time getting through this website stuff, which means some of the other technical work is sort of, it's hard to stay on top of all of this. But at least once I've done it, it'll be done. I wish I could bring back my LUT. I'm going to just see if I can find it. See if I can bring it back so that I don't, because I did work through my LUT with Rob Russia, and so it would be a shame not to have it. Let's try just, I'm just going to bring it here. Sorry, I'm just fiddling around in another window, and I'm going to drag the LUT on, and hopefully this, no, okay, that's without, that's weird, isn't it? Like if I drag it on, yeah, so my LUT's back. Okay. What else? MacOS Sonoma. Right, so a couple of things on this. So there's some impacts on Video Pencil camera, and also, I've had a bit of input on the video conferencing in CueCam. I'm just going to unobscure chat just in case I missed that. Right, so the first thing is I do know like a couple of reports of maybe some choppiness in Video Pencil camera on Sonoma. I haven't managed to reproduce that. I upgraded my laptop last week. I haven't managed to reproduce it, but what I've done is I've put a new build up on test flight for anyone that's on the Video Pencil camera test flight, which I've built under Sonoma. And I just don't know if it was like, I have this vague theory, it's probably not right, but I had I made my own framework called Metrics, and then Apple has now created a framework called Metrics. I don't know if they're like colliding and if that's causing problems. So I've rebuilt it, renamed my framework to something more specific, and I'm sort of hoping that maybe that resolves the issues, maybe. But I am having a look at the video conferencing stuff. Something I've noticed is it is a bit glitchy on macOS still. I sort of ran OBS and then it never stopped saying that OBS was running even after I quit OBS. So I don't know how perfect that is. And I also noticed there was some massive lag introduced once you started doing the effects. But I think we can, like, if I do this, it should, like, yeah. Okay, so I'm in CueCam. We can do a little bit of this, these special effects if we want. What are the other ones? I forget what the down. No, not so good. You can sort of like just do these gestures. That gesture didn't work. I'll try one more reaction. Let's have a laser show. Is there a laser show in here? Yeah, we've got the little laser show. Woo. So but something I do want to make sure, so a lot of interesting stuff kicks in when you do screen sharing. So it can do sort of an automatic chroma key, which I wouldn't mind leveraging. And John Deering did sort of put up a video on the Discord, which I'll just sort of show you him. So he sort of put this video up where you can see. I'm going to show you some other stuff. So my iPad isn't beside me, but you can see he's got like the screen share, and then in front is the sort of auto chroma key, and then behind you can see it's like panning the background, and that shoots face follow effect. So you can imagine you could get something quite dynamic looking without too much trouble. And my LUT is going to disappear again when I come out of this, isn't it? So you're just going to have to I'm just gonna have to keep dropping this back on every time I like come out of there. Okay, so that's macOS. I'm running it. It seems stable enough, but something I do want to be able to do is I am gonna like make sure that I put the proper hooks in. So when there's the picture-in-picture options, I want to try and make sure that it will take the native macOS with your preferences picture-in-picture, because obviously I have my own circle and I have my own chroma key. So I just want to make sure that you get the right thing. But that's still like, I've got to get to it. Not anytime soon. Something with iPadOS 17, I had a couple of queries come in about external cameras, and I was hoping it would just work out the box, but it doesn't. I had a look into it actually today. I do have to like whitelist external cameras, but I did manage to do that today in both Shoot and Video Pencil. So well, if we go back actually. I'll save this little bit of code. Oh my god, I'm going to have to do this every time. I wonder what this bug is. Like, I've just got this LUT issue. It just loses it when we transition back. So I can show you, if I switch over to, so what I can do now, shall I see if I can show demo mode so you can see what's going on? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, as my camera, I'm going to select, I'm going to hopefully just quit Shoot again. See if I can get Shoot. There's a thing with Shoot. Yeah, so Shoot on the iPad. You see now, I've got the ATEM plugged into it. So if I select Shoot on the iPad now I'm using my iPad, Shoot, and this is my DSLR coming through the ATEM. And to prove that, I can like fade to black because I only have one camera plugged in. But yeah, I can sort of put fake picture-in-picture mode. So we've got that. Can sort of change the position of it. So that's coming through the ATEM. Oh, you probably can't hear me properly. So obviously that's a pretty big deal, isn't it? Being able to kind of use arbitrary cameras. So I'm just going to switch back to my normal camera. Yeah, so that's with that, and then it's kind of the same with Video Pencil. Now I'll just like whitelist external cameras. There is a little bit. It's not going to be. This isn't going to come out straight away because although you see it working there, that's only with the iPad one way up, and like the way the iPad handles video, like orientation is not well. iPads, iPhones, like they've always assumed that like the camera is rotating with the device, but now if with an external webcam like that all that logic is sort of a bit out of date. And I do have quite a lot of logic in my code to sort of handle which way up the phone is, which can impact things differently depending on if you're on an external display where you don't want to rotate it back. When you're on the device screen, you do want to rotate it back. And now like the camera can be rotating independently of the display. So they've introduced this new framework, which allows you to, oh no, what have I done? I just shared Zoom multiples. So they've introduced this new framework, which I just need to have a proper look at. It's a little bit like, I've got to get my head around this. So there's now a new thing called an AV Capture Device Rotation Coordinator, which I need to figure out how that integrates with all of my already existing orientation code. But hopefully, it's sort of isolated in one place, and I'm sort of checking the status bar orientation. But like I think it's not something I can just bung out in one day, just add external. I've got to like figure out the rotation stuff because otherwise it'll only work one way up and it might be a bit weird. So, but that's coming. That's coming. This is going to be like a pretty short session, to be honest. So please do feel free to, if you've got any things you want to talk about, just like jump in, please, because I'm also just going to make sure that my LUT is back on. Just trying to find the thing. It does some pretty intense fading out of inactive windows on Sonoma. I was like, what's going on here? So we've got the external cameras, Shoot, iPad. So yeah, if you've got questions, if you've got anything else you want to talk about, please feel free to drop something in here. We've got the Discord too. CueCam, as you see, like it's taken quite a lot of effort to get the website together. Things like taking a screenshot that shows the iPad is like, I kind of need to jump into Blender and do some 3D stuff to do that. I think I'm not quite getting it for free with the stuff I've already done, like to show a drawing. I've got, so it's quite a lot of screenshots and images and text and all that stuff that needs to be done. But then I'd need to jump back in because I reworked how the titles worked to disconnect it from SpriteKit, but that's still not quite right. The colors are off. The previews are weird, but like it's going to be much better going forwards. But I haven't had a chance to really spend a lot of time on the. I just barred myself from the CueCam code base last week, but I'm hoping that some of the ideas I've had about how to, because you see the sort of like choppiness, you see the frames coming in a little bit out of order. You know, I've been spending a lot of time just you know, with this little guy, which bip. Spending a lot of time with this guy to try and like figure out exactly what the frames are, and I'm going to jump back into that. So that's just a little update for you. If I don't see any questions, it's a quiet Zoom today, as I say. Like there's Zoomtopia, so I think everyone's just watching someone much more energetic than I, explaining something a lot more elaborate than what I'm talking about, arguably. So I'm not seeing a lot of, there's not many people on Zoom. I see a sort of decent number on the YouTube, so maybe that's progress. But that's last chance for questions. If I don't hear anything in the next few seconds, I'm just going to start the music. And although you're not going to hear the music, so I'm going to give you the choppy music, and we're just going to like fade it out. So thanks for dropping by. Doesn't have to be a long session, does it? I'm going to just come forward, and here we go. That did not. I don't know if that's working. So there we go. Thanks everyone for coming by. Good to see you. I do these every week. I like to do a short one, even if I don't have tons to talk about. I think next week there's going to be a lot of progress. So just watch this space. I'm going to, at my desk, I've got to get a lot done. So hopefully next week we're going to see a lot